What's going on, everybody? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Mr. DJ Daz One, and I am the host, founder, creator, and head nerd in charge. And this is the Rap Sheet Podcast, where creators and culture meet. Let me fix my lighting a little bit. Hold on. Okay, because we want to do this right. We definitely want to do this right. All right. So let's make this dim a little. And I'm going to be right back. Hold on. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what's going to go down here tonight. In about 7 minutes, my guests are going to appear. But before we get things started with that, it's only right that we do an awesome tribute to the guests that I got coming up. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's take it back to the year 1994, y'all. Let's go. Let's go. Bush babies in your area. That's right. Come on. Bush babies in your area. Let's go.
I think about the days when there was no contract. I used to have to train because I had no dough. Playing beats on the chairs and the dance on the floor. Mama said there be days like this when the baby face chaos can get paid for the hits.
Come on.
Anyway, by the time I was a toddler, a kid that understood he wasn't what they might have. The only one when I get in the whole sixth grade. Staring out the window, broke like Mr. Window. And nobody knows if I was not a window. My mama said life's a double hanging knife. The biggest time you can stab, either you paid or you pay the price. So people listen when I start the flow. But I'm that same baby face from a while ago. See, yo, remember this, remember our son? Prayed in the shade, but like Jack, you get nickel, son. Thanks to those that's down, I never diss. But would you be down if I wasn't on the gas list?
One time for the Bush babies representing Brooklyn, New York City. Ha! All right, let's see if we remember this next record. I see my brother Lee Majors, man. We're going to get him on in just a few moments. We'll be taking a trip down memory lane. Classic 1994 boom bap hip hop vintage stuff right here. Let's go. This is the first song I ever heard from this legendary group that you're about to meet in a couple moments. If you know the lyrics, sing along with Lee Majors one time as we go a little something like this. Pass to the end, but nowadays, cause rap page, you got 1 million rappers and 1,000 DJs. We're just gonna do one more song, then we're gonna get our people on. Here we go. MCs don't like our style because they can't do no better. 1996. Wax. One time for Diamond the Artist. What up, my brother? The album was called Gravity. The song was called Wax. Hey, yo, Lee, talk to him one more time. Here we go. That's right. Fatal blows like these, all due to the fact that Lee wax MCs. All right, y'all. We about to get this interview started. One time for the legendary Bush babies in your area, about to cam up real soon. My name is Mr. DJ Daz One Rap Sheet Podcast where creators and culture meet. Season 5, Episode 4. Yes, sir. All right. Now that we did that, we can get on with the proceeding this evening as I sit on down and get comfortable. All right. Man, let's get Lee up here. Let's get the man up here. Let's get the
What up?
Man, I had to take that trip down memory lane real quick. I just had to do that. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, man. Good to be here, man. Blessed to be here. Light should be on in the next minute or so as well. So happy to be alive. Happy to be here. What's going on?
I'm happy to have you, brother. Just getting things situated. I'm blessed and highly favored. And
yes,
I can't wait to chop it up with you guys, man. This is gonna be a beautiful, beautiful thing. So hold on, let me just take care of one last thing I need to do, which is this.
Mm-hmm.
And then we are ready and we are gonna be good to go. Oh man. Just hanging with the wife, was watching a great perspective comedy show about love and marriage and just how great relationships can be if it's based off the right reasons. So it was really good time spending time with her watching that because yeah, beautiful thing. So well, we're gonna get started, and Big Light will be joining us very soon. So ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Rap Sheet Podcast where creatives and culture meet. We are in season 5. This is episode number 4. Before we continue on, I just want to shout out Eternia. I want to shout out Diamond the Artist, and I want to shout out the legendary Barbara Tucker, who were the first 3 guests to kick off season 5. But now we are in episode 4. And when I was thinking about how I was going to intro this, and I spoke with my brother a couple of days ago on the story of how I became one with the legendary Bush babies. I want to take it back to 1994. I was working at Tower Records at the time. That's how far back I go. And an artist out of the California area by the name of The Brat dropped an album called Functified. And I was already impressed with her when I heard Functified because I'm like, she had lyrics, she had style, she had it all. And it got to a record on the album called Ain't No Thing. And the beat was already hitting me over the head. And then right before the Brat starts rhyming, I hear this voice just kicking off island flavor through hip hop that I have never heard before. Now, see, prior to me hearing the Bush Babies, I never really heard this type of style in hip hop. KRS-One teased it every once in a while, you know, but he was more or less on the MC side of things. And unless it was like Shabba Ranks or Jamal Ski or somebody he was doing a record with. But this brother just set off the track lovely. And I looked at the credits and I'm like, yo, YT. All right. I'm going to keep watch for this brother. And then lo and behold, I was hanging with my friends, listening to A Tribe Called Quest's Low End Theory. And, a year or two after that, my man was like, yo, Ali Shaheed Muhammad, yo, this dude just put out a track. I'm like, he's rhyming. He's like, no, he produced it. But these 3 cats like ripped this track apart. And I'm like, oh, you got to play it for me. Am I going to like the lyrics? I'm like, dude, they speak our language when it comes to this MCing thing. I'm like, and he played it. And the song was called It's Like That rerun things. And I got to hear, at the time, Babyface Chaos, now he's known as Lee Majors, and Mr. Mann alongside YT literally gave a very bold and clear and honest statement of why they are doing the type of music that they're doing. And I've been a fan ever since. And it is such a pleasure to have these legends on the show right now. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, and I know we're going to have Big Light join us real soon, but it is only right to give these amazing legends their flowers. They represent the city of Brooklyn. 31 years ago is when Ambush came out, and they have been riding hard ever since. So let's give these kings their flowers. Right now, we got Lee Majors representing the Bush Babies in the area. Yes, indeed. Yes.
Appreciate the love. Appreciate the love. Absolutely. Definitely happy to be here.
When Light gets on, I'm going to just shorten up that story so I can tell him how I got familiar with them. But thank you for taking the time to be here. It is truly an honor to. And speaking of Big Light, there he is right there. Look at that. Perfect timing. Look at that. Awesome timing when he gets on here. Let me just say, there we go. There you go. Big Light. How you doing, brethren?
What's up, brethren? Apologies for the delay, man. Still trying to get.
Okay. Listen, you guys are legends. They don't have to apologize about a thing. You know what I'm saying? You're just here. Before we get into this, I just shared the story of how I became familiar with you guys. Take you back to 1994. I was working at Tower Records, and I bought the Bratz Functified album. And then it got to this record, Ain't No Thing. And that was the first time I heard your voice. And then I guess maybe a year or two later, one of my friends hit me up and said, yo, Ali Shaheed Muhammad is seriously on the producing tip. And I'm like, well, I already know that. He's killing it with A Tribe Called Quest. I'm like, yeah, but he produced this track for these three brothers out of Brooklyn. You got to check this joint out. And he played rerun things. And that's how I became familiar with the three of you. So thank you to Brat for putting me on the YT, Big Light. And thank you to my friend who put me on to the Ambush album, which I got for free because I was working at Tower Records. I guess I did a great job and they gave me the album for free. But I went and bought it afterward because I wanted to support because that's how much I love the album. And so thank y'all for being curators of the art in a creative and unique fashion that people like myself and those searching for the truth as a purist in hip hop can really relate to and identify with. So thank you, gentlemen, for doing what it is you do. Much appreciated. So let's start from the very beginning. Let me not say how did the Bush Babies become the Bush Babies? When did the two of you fall in love with the culture known as hip hop? Where were you? Did you listen to something? Did you see a video? Or was it something that you were always passionate about? Let's take it back to the very beginning.
Oh, absolutely. I would say as far as falling in love with hip hop, as soon as I saw it coming out of junior high school on the basketball court with the cardboard out there, cats playing the radio, break dancing, fell in love with it. The message came out, I had my grandmother's radio, waiting for the song to come on the radio so I can so I can tape it right off the radio. So I mean, since then I was in love with hip hop.
Amen.
Absolutely.
And I'm sorry, Big Light, my bad, brother. What about you? What was the first influence that gave you life for this culture that you would soon enter into as a professional?
I mean, I grew up in Jamaica, growing up, and going to school in Jamaica. Music is everywhere. You big speakers string up everywhere. Every event we do, music is the driving force. So I think for me, the earliest is probably the bus rides, when we would do our like sport events and then the bus rides back, hence our Dollar Van name of the company we rock it with now. But just being in that van and the music, just dance hall in the 80s, the way that bass was, it was hypnotic, man. So, that's probably the earliest memories that really got us started,
And that's what's up. Amen and amen to that. Before you came on, I was saying with Lee that KRS-One was really one of the first people that I saw who really infused the reggae influence and the boom bap hip hop influence, but you guys took that to a whole new level because it wasn't just on one or a few songs. Like you made sure that every song infused both cultures very, very, very well. Was that the main mission of the Bush Babies, or if not, speak on what your narrative was before Ambush came out and the sound that you guys wanted to have when you were getting ready to reach the masses in the way that you reached out to them?
Sure. First off, Mr. Mann pretty much had the name Bush Babies before we ever met.
Right.
It was a seed in his head. And with that being said, he was looking for another MC. So he found me at a school in Brooklyn. And then when we came together representing Flatbush, we felt the only way, and he definitely felt this way, the only way to really represent Flatbush culture is we have to get a dancehall artist in the group, because that's the culture of Flatbush, Brooklyn. So he then found Light at a talent show as well, in which he won, and we just all connected from there. Man. And started to move forward with the group. But we always felt from the beginning that dancehall had to be part of the group in order for us to reflect, where we're from.
And a lot of to piggyback on that, a lot of the timing, for me, I had just moved up from Jamaica and was fresh, just new, kind of learning my way around when we linked. That's part of why I was doing like talent shows and that kind of thing, just to link up. And I think to your point, for me, when I first came up, KRS-One was a big driving force because, I heard what he was doing, right? He's like, it's like the beats for me, it was The Bridge Is Over.
Oh,
right.
Man.
Because The Bridge Is Over, to any hip hop head, right? You see a reaction. You know what I hear when I hear The Bridge Is Over? I hear Super Cat.
Yeah.
I hear Boops there. I hear boom, 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 boom. And I hear it like roll in a different way. And so to hear the way they flipped it, a lot of people feel some type of way sometimes when they used to sample back in the days, but we loved it. I loved it. Hip hop is about it. Yeah. And it's just recreating that same energy in a different way.
And it does make sense because in the beginning, like the bridge is over, that is really just like reggae chatting, even though he's using his American voice. So I definitely see how the appeal could definitely attract someone like you and to really inspire you to just go hard in the paint. So shout out KRS-One, man, the teacher of all teachers, best believe. So when you guys got together with Mr. Mann, and one thing about Mr. Mann, before we get any deeper, as an MC growing up, I was 18 at the time when I first came across you guys, and his verse at the end of Rerun Things just really spoke the narrative of the type of MC that I truly wanted to be. You had this calm individual, soothing voice, but he was saying such powerful words. You didn't have to scream it out, didn't have to curse it out. We're not knocking NWA or Public Enemy or Cool G Rap, whoever you like, just who you like, but that really spoke a language to me. And this is before I got into De La and Tribe and Jungle Brothers. So Mr. Mann, kudos to Mr. Mann for really just letting me know that I can be calm and not curse and be educative and still entertain and get my point across. So thank you, Mr. Mann. Salute to that brother for sure. If you just now tuned in, Bush Babies are in your area. We got Big Light. We got the one and only Lee Majors celebrating, man, 30. When you think about the fact that you guys been now around 31 years, probably even longer than that, but professionally since 94, 31 years, and you look back, what do you speak on the longevity? Because longevity is something that every hip hop artist wants to have, and you guys were able to survive 31 years, and new music and everything is on the way. What a joy! Speak on the joyous fact that you guys are here 30 years later, still relevant, still impacting crowds, still doing the music that you were called to do. Go ahead, brother.
I would say that before that, the first part of it is friendships, and you got to develop friendships throughout the people that you work with in order to have that longevity. and be able to just apply yourself to the rules, the cloth that we came up off on. Even if there is an issue, it's discussed between us. Even whatever the case is, it's a family affair. So we move like that. So because we move like that, we're able to build something that's consistent. You know, in terms of the music in 30 years, what I find, to be something is the fact that some of the messages that we put out there in the Gravity album still hold true right now.
Yeah.
At this very moment.
Absolutely.
So, you know,
YT.
that's what I would say.
I keep saying YT, and that's my bad.
Light is good enough. Light.
But Light, you want to add on to that? Share your thoughts on what Lee Majors just said.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think time, when you think about time and you try to look back, yeah, I think the main thing is quality, right? So I mean, you kind of look back, and to Lee's point, if you can listen to your stuff and still hear relevancy, still hear like dope beats, flows, ideas, concepts, you know, it makes you proud, you know, it makes you proud that you did good work, you know, and so you know you're in the right space.
Absolutely. Native tongues, I'm sure they were a huge influence on you as men and as artists. Was there ever a time when they asked you all to be part of the Native Tongues? Because I'm pretty sure that conversation probably happened a few times. I'm just assuming.
It doesn't happen like the Avengers,
right?
Where kind of not the way it happens.
Right.
It's more so comes with working with your peers.
Yeah.
And having consistent work with your peers, that you just kind of, you know, there was never an indoctrination or a formal ceremony. It was just more so just working with Pos on the love song, working with Ali on We Run Things, working with Q-Tip on 3MCs, working with Mos Def before he had even come out. Being in those circles, things kind of orbit around you, and you become part of those circles.
Yeah, I mean, I think what we don't have to you don't have to really say it. You know, I mean, I think, you know, big bros, they're not going to work with you if they don't like what you're doing. You know what I mean?
True story.
They didn't have to work with us. You know, we were younger coming up. So the fact that they even saw fit to be like, yeah, let's get in and make some music says everything.
Absolutely.
Right.
I also want to take time to acknowledge the Block Party movie that Dave Chappelle did, where Questlove, I do believe it was Questlove, who said, "This is our family." Kanye, Common, Black Star, Erica, Jill. Like we used to do these things in Philly, and these will always be the people that would always come back. And this is how our tribe became our tribe. And I guess I'm gonna assume this is how it went for y'all with Jungle and Moni and Queen Latifah and Tribe and De La Soul and Black Sheep and, you know, that great array of artists, because you all spoke the same language.
Yeah, it's your work. It's your work.
It's your work ethic.
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm really all over the place right now because I left my questions downstairs and I'm not going to run and go get them. I'm just going to freestyle this off the top of my head. But one of the main importances as a former MC myself, and something that is really lacking today in the 21st century, is the live performance. I don't know how many times I tell MCs, don't rap over your own voice. That is the most annoyingest thing I have ever seen. If you're in the studio, get a show track while you're in there. But aside from all that, I come to a show, you guys are supposed to give me the energy, and then I give it back to you, because you're on stage getting ready to impact thousands of people, even if it's 500 people. But the question I have for you guys, and I'm sure Mr. Mann would agree with or whatever it is you're about to say, but how important is the live act when you guys are in front of a stage, especially if you're in front of people that have never heard you before?
Yeah.
At any given time. Speak on the importance of the live show. And do you guys, I'm sure you guys rehearse, talk about the importance of the live show for those that are tuned in.
Yeah, I think I'll set it. I think the live show is crucial. I mean, for the reasons you mentioned, the fans, this and that. But I think a tell, or one thing you can look and say, all right, if this guy's serious or not. It tells you if it's a money grab. Right. So if it's a money grab, then you're worried about, yo, how long do I have to be on stage? Yo, how, you know, right? And so if it's not a money grab, then you're excited and you have a plan. You know, you want to touch the stage a certain way. You want to, you know, you're a little bit more caring about the details of the show, right? Because it's not just the money for the show, it's the actual show. So, I mean, to me, that should be a pride thing, right? And if you go up there and you know, it's whack, it's trash, it's whatever, you know, and you take your money and you still feel good about it, then, you know, I can't really relate.
Right.
So, you know, I think that's the tell. That tells me everything. If you don't business about your show, if you don't care about your show, then, you know, I had no comment.
Absolutely. Lee, you want to add to that?
Yeah, I would say our career started from live shows. As we touched on before, a lot of this was us being on talent shows. The way I got started was honestly high school. My first talent show was dancing behind somebody else who was rapping. Then I wanted to be the rapper. And then through that, you develop your stage show. The other thing, too, is with stage shows, what I find to be extremely important is being able to read the audience, know what they messing with and what they not messing with, and being able to pivot. You know, or freestyling is a lost jewel. That in a live show you got to be able to pivot. You know how many times I could think of that I probably forgot my lyrics, but being a good freestyler was able to cover it up and talk about, you know, what was going on in the auditorium or whatever, you know, at the show, and move the crowd even more so than if I was just stating the regular lyrics.
Right.
So, you know.
Amen and amen. I had speech from Arrested Development on my show a couple of years back. And I remember him saying to me, as a conscious artist, you get more love outside of America than you do inside of America, simply because of what we were talking about. As curators of this art, and you and Arrested Development are joined at the hip because your topics are pretty much the same, you have the same narrative. Do you find that to be true, that you get more love when you travel outside of America as opposed to performing in America? Because let's keep it 100. American audiences love the Drakes and the Futures and the mainstream acts. And we're not knocking mainstream acts. We're not trying to disrespect them. But it seems that conscious MCs really get more love going outside of the country, dealing with an audience that doesn't look like them, talk like them, walk like them. Have you had that same Have you had that same narrative when you travel outside the country? And if so, just speak upon the similarities or the differences as to performing in America than when you're outside of America.
You want to take that light, or?
Yeah, that's a good question, man. I think that there's a point in there. You do see that on a large scale. You know, because America is the marketplace, right? America is capitalism. It's dollars, right? It's go big or go home. Right. A lot of the other countries, there's a deeper rooted culture, and there's more, you know, not as much of a melting pot as you might find in America, where it's, like I said, the marketplace, so you're chasing the dollar. So that probably is one of the reasons. But you know, it also, to Lee's point earlier, it depends on the crowd you're in front of, because we've been overseas where, you know, the crowd is super roots, or the crowd is a little bit more rough, you know what I mean, like more streetwise, or the crowd is high end, right? And they're partying in that. So I think you find it everywhere. But like most things in America, you know, we good at the marketing and super sensationalizing, right? So it feels that way. But I think the presence is still here. But I think the point that you're making, yes, on a large scale, you do see bigger platforms for the conscious artists outside of the US.
Right. If I could add to that, now hearing what Light is talking about, I would also add availability. When I was young, I saw the Fat Boys at Wendy's.
Amen.
So seeing the Fat Boys perform at the Apollo is normal. You know what I mean? I saw LL, on my way to a party one time. It's the availability of the artist. You see this, especially being from New York.
Yeah.
We see this all the time, and the same difference you would say, hey, if you do a show in New York, you got to really have a hot record to make a New Yorker move because we've seen it all. And then let's just extract that outward. Let's extract that outward. May not be the same response if we're in the Midwest where that might have not, the availability isn't as much. Expand that outward, Colombia, Brazil, all of those other places, they're not seeing the Fat Boys at the Wendy's.
Right. Absolutely. Definitely are not.
Right.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just now tuned in, we got 2/3 of the legendary Bush Babies crew. We got Big Light, and we got the one and only Lee Majors. I had Diamond the Artist on here a couple weeks back, and he spoke highly of you during the making of the Gravity album. And he really spoke on the dopeness that was Mos Def before we got to see the Mos Def that we all know and love today. You guys worked with Mos Def on the Love Song and even the Love Song remix and other records as well. He also did the dope intro for the Gravity album, which, man, listen, that was just so impactful to have that. What's it like working with Mos Def? And, you guys worked with him before Black Star, before Black on Both Sides, and before we see him and who he is today. Speak on the what did you see in Mos Def back in '96 that someone like myself wasn't around could really just say, wow, that's how dope he really was. Just speak on the dopeness of the mighty Mos Def.
Yeah, I would say the first thing that comes to my mind is that he stood and stands on principle. Everything that he's saying now and everything that he showcases and what he does, whether it's Mos Def or Yasin Bey, it's been fluid since 30 years ago. Everything he said then is exactly what he executes now. Same pathway, same, you're not going to find any old footage of Mos being a Yasin being a gangster rapper because it's not there. Right. He's been Yasin since he was Dante, since he was Mos Def, since he's now Yasin.
Right on.
Yeah, man. Yeah, Mos' family, man. It's hard to answer the question because, like May just said earlier, it's just your peer, right? Like we growing up together, just like you said, we knew before everybody that we knew who had the spark, right? And we would all meet up, go to the studio, meet up, do work, meet up, do stuff together. So,
Lyricist Lounge.
Yeah. That's the spark that once you like you brought up Native Tongues, I think once the spark is identified, somebody know you got that spark, you got that thing, like, yo, that you have lyrics in yo, he wicked, yo, he got the once that is is assigned to you or you in that space, then we don't really think past that. Everybody's just creating. You know what I mean? So,
right.
That's how it
starts. You guys just spoke of the Lyricist Lounge, which I think was another great institution. Thank you, Raucous Records, for doing it. But when they took the Lyricist Lounge tour to city, I was living in Boston at the time, and De La Soul hosted the one that happened there back in '98. I wanna say, memory serves me correct, and it was just a great thing to see up and coming MCs that no one knew about, giving them the chance to just really do what they do. 20 years later, here you guys are as the Dub Rock All-Stars, if memory serves me correct, performing at the 20-year reunion. What was that moment like? Because you guys weren't on Lyricist Lounge Volume 1 or Volume 2, but again, that tribe of MCs spoke the language that the Bush Babies really represented. So to have the chance to perform in New York City with Doug and Kid Capri and Black Thought and salute to Prodigy, rest in peace, Pharoah Monch and others, to be in that tribe, to say, look, we only had 2 albums out. They did what they did, but the fact that the core audience of purists still remember us enough to want to come and perform for an organization that we weren't a part of as far as putting albums out, but still respect us enough to say, come out and rock at the 20th anniversary of the Lyricist Lounge. We'd love to have you there. Man, speak on what that night was to you guys as veterans, bringing up, you know, and ushering the up and coming talent that came after you. Speak on that real quick, fellas.
Sure. I would say first, the first Lyricist Lounge tape we actually were on. It was a symphony record with us, Dougie Fresh, Cellar Dwellers,
Oh wow.
a bunch of MCs from Lyricist Lounge, like the initial Lyricist Lounge. The first tape that they put out, we were on that. But as for performing at that event, oh, it was great, man. Just to be around your peers, to go out there, hit your tunes, know that you still impact, you know what I mean? The folks that are out there that appreciate boom bap, appreciate dance hall, and then understand where we fit in uniquely with all of those people that you name. You know what I mean? Being we just have a different style than all of those people. And quite frankly, I'm excited to showcase that moving forward with Dollar Van music. I can't wait for you to see how much we separate ourselves.
So let's speak about that then. Here we are in 2025. Dollar Van is here. What can we expect from you guys now? I mean, what haven't you already done? But what can we expect with this new music and new narrative that you guys are presenting to the world in 2025 and beyond?
Sure. Expect what we did before on steroids. Expect a group that continued to master their craft and get in a lane where dance hall and hip hop is executed at the highest levels. The reason why we call this Dollar Van and what I'm excited about is if you remember, if anyone remembers growing up in Brooklyn, especially in the 90s, when the Dollar Vans would pass through Utica, pass through Flatbush Avenue, and the sounds that would come out of that Dollar Van, and just that whole feel of that era, that's what Dollar Van music is all about. It's about hearing that bass coming up the block, and just the whole history of the Dollar Van as it being a rebellious movement for people who didn't want to take the city transportation. And so they created this whole avenue to be able to move people back and forth up and down Flatbush Avenue, and Utica as well, to get to their destinations where the city was raising prices and doing other things, to not allow us to do that. That we created that rebel culture, the Dollar Vans, to get us to where we needed to go. That's what we're about on a whole as a group.
Amen. Amen. Light, I must ask, lyrics are very important to someone like me as a 51-year-old. Just turned 51 3 days ago. And lyrics truly mean everything. Not because you can put good words together and be creative. Words have absolute power. And when the artist is using them in the way that really propels a culture forward, it even makes that artist a much greater person, just because he's willing to use the art in a the correct and unique way. How important is lyrics to you and to Lee Majors? And if you come across someone that lyrically isn't using their gift in the present way, how do you mentor those without sounding like you know everything? I'm the elder, listen to what I say. I'm just trying to teach you you can get to somewhere, because I had to learn the hard way. Because when we came up, we didn't have YouTube and Twitter and MySpace. There's only 3 ways an MC in our time could get heard. You had a video, you had a 12-inch, or you rocked the show. That was it. So how do you speak to the up and coming generation to learn so they could be better than how you guys were when you guys were coming up at the time when you were in your prime?
All right, I be getting the hard ones.
It's for both of you, but I always start off with you because I'm speaking.
I think you want me to go first? Oh, go ahead.
I got you. I think that to unwrap it first, I think that me being, a reggae artist or Jamaican-based artist, I guess for me, lyrics are important, and it was a challenge to me because, if you listen to the trajectory, you listen to early dancehall, we had our topics, we always had that point, a lot of melody, but not really a lot of intricate lyrics, right? Because the accent, right? So you want to kind of, you want to do something that people are going to get. But over time, being with all these Brooklyn MCs, Lee Major, Mr. Mann, Most, just being around this, you take up the challenge, and now as a reggae artist, you're kind of writing a little different. You're trying to push that envelope. So that's personally why it's important to me. To answer your question directly, as far as the mentorship, thank you for the way you posed it, because I'm trying to work on being that easygoing with mentorship. Iron sharpen iron, and where what we came from, you'll get sent back to rewrite your verse. Like, yo, that's
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That ain't it.
That ain't it.
Sorry. So now I don't know if that's happening as much. I don't think so, based off of a lot of what I hear sometimes. So
no,
that don't sound like a rewrite, right? So I think it's a balance between, like, pushing them and saying, yo, man, that ain't it, go back to the drawing board, but then also being able to communicate as MCs, right, and talk about the verse, like, yo, when you start, like, I need something like, right, and then make sure you're changing the flows after 4 bars, man, and like give me, and like that don't sound like an ending, like, or like you're getting off topic, or like, so if those basic, just that what I listed out right there, if you just take that basics and start as an MC, ask those questions and ask your brethrens or your other MCs to test you like that and push you like that, you're gonna get better work. If you at the gym, you want your brethren to, yo, give me that extra rep. Right. So it's the same concept, man. You can't get better if you just in your comfort zone.
Amen. Lee, this next. Oh, Lee, you want to add to that? My fault. You want to add to that?
Here's my hot take. As a Brooklynite, as a lover of hip hop, Jay-Z killed hip hop.
Whoa. Okay, let me back up for this one. All right. Continue on.
Here's the reason why I say that.
Okay.
You're an avid fan of the NBA?
Yes. Oh yeah.
Who is the best shooter in the NBA right now? Or of all time, right?
Okay.
As of right now. Who's the best shooter in the NBA?
Are you asking of all time or
current? Now you can say of all time, period. Who's the best shooter in the NBA?
If I had, just for the sake of right now, if I had to say right now, Steph Curry.
Right.
Steph Curry.
Okay, I agree with you. I would venture to say Steph Curry, because I would venture to say statistically, Steph Curry is the best shooter in the NBA. Because of that, what has happened to the NBA?
Everyone wants to shoot
right now.
Everyone wants to shoot threes now. Yeah, pretty much.
All right, let's take that into hip hop. Reason why I say that about Jay-Z is not because I'm a huge Jay-Z fan, probably the biggest one you've ever had on your show. But here's what I know. Right. Jay-Z, one of the things that he's known for as an MC, because we're talking about writing right now, right?
Yeah.
What he's very famous for is his ability to not write.
Right. Yeah.
And in the same manner that a lot of these young kids just stop going to the hole, stop having a back to the basket game, a lot of them stop writing because they think that it's a good thing not to write when they get into the booth. And not everyone has that Rain Man thing that Jay-Z has.
Yeah.
So I won't say it forced, it made a lot of the new cats that are coming out and that have been coming out to want to tout, I don't write. And for some of them, we can tell, you don't write. So when I say when I make that statement is to say, not everybody's Rain Man. I grab a pen, I grab a notebook, I got a phone full of rhymes. I got a notebook full of rhymes because I know when I put the pen to the paper, that's what's going to give me my best output.
Right.
Sometimes I think people masquerade I don't write with just because you're lazy.
Tell the truth, brother. Tell
and
the
other
truth.
side, and the other side of that, to give fairness and balance, the other side of that too is access to the studio, right? So,
Right.
so equipment becoming so easy to access. You just have your Pro Tools on your laptop. You just plug in your mic, boom.
Oh yeah.
Lock in, do an album, spit it out. When you come in from a different era where studio time costs, and those big reel to reels that you record your music on, that alone costs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A man somebody will rough you up.
Yeah.
For them reels.
Preparation was key.
Right.
So if you could just go in your crib, you in your slippers, you just put together a thing and throw it out there, it kind of changes the game a lot,
It definitely does. All right. So this next difficult question is not for Big Light. This one is for Lee Majors. So I gotta make Lee think on this next one.
Okay.
Method Man said, I watched the Wu-Tang documentary that came out, and Method Man said, I could give a damn about writing to make money or have a top 10 hit. I want to write to impress my clan members, first and foremost. If I can't impress them, it doesn't matter what the rest of the world is going to think. So when you're writing alongside Mr. Man and Big Light, how important is it for you to have the approval of your teammates before the rest of the world hears what it is you wrote in that studio or on that tour bus or wherever you guys are? How important basically is it to have the love and the support of your family, who you do these songs with, to get their approval, to know that you're still doing what it is you're doing at the highest level you could possibly do it at?
You never heard a rhyme from me that wasn't approved by the man that you see on the screen today or Mr. Man.
Right.
And you're not, because it's always going to go through those channels before it comes out to the world. So that to me is super important. There's been some times that I've wrote some rhymes that feels like, you're not really on topic, or we should go a different direction, and you'll never hear the light of day of those rhymes. So yeah, it's got to go through the crew first. The crew has to come first. This is what you're a representation of. Plain and simple.
Like, you want to add to that?
I mean, I'll add to. I think Lee, we talked about this one time. I think it was Rick Rubin that had a post where he was saying, "You're the first listener." Right. So to me, that's your checkpoint. You first, then your crew, then you could go out to the people. So the only thing I would add to that is that if there's any time that I wrote something and I thought it was good, but I brought it to them and they were like, nah, that's when you do a lot of soul searching if you're an MC.
Right.
Take your ass back home and sit down. You know what I mean? Don't just, all right. A lot of people stay in their feelings and, try to excuse it away. Amen. Like, yo, man, you that wasn't it. So go back and see why you thought that was it. And make sure you don't think that's it again.
Yep.
Amen.
Something that I'm learning right now, just to piggyback on it, and been going through, is writing based on what you like to hear versus writing based on who you are as a person.
Right.
Deep. One of my favorite rappers right now, Conway the Machine, but I'm not Conway the Machine.
He's dope.
You feel where I'm coming from? Nah, love him, but I'm not him. So I got to come from the angle where I need to come from. The angle in which we come from as far as Dollar Van is, we not gangsters. We're not trying to be gangsters, but what we are rebels. And there's a difference between a gangster and a rebel.
Right.
A gangster's maybe fighting the guy who lives right next door to you or down the block. The rebel's fighting the system.
Yeah. Amen.
You know what I mean? So that's where we're coming from. So when I write from and I say the same thing for Light and for Mr. Man. When we're writing from a rebel perspective, not from a gangster perspective.
Right. Amen.
And that's reflected in our culture too. You know what I mean? So being from the Caribbean, I think that that resonates with our families, that resonate, like, you know what I mean? Like, you get called out quick.
Right.
You get called out quick if you're not being authentic, or, you know what I mean? You're not being true to yourself.
Absolutely. Light, you just spoke a few moments ago about being able to take constructive criticism from the people within your circle. How do you all deal with constructive criticism for those outside of your circle? Like, let's say DJ Premier pulled you aside and said, yo, that thing was dope, but you got to work on this. And even though you may think, yo, I have the hardest stuff right now, but let me take in this constructive criticism and really use it to my advantage to be better. Is that an easy thing for y'all to do when you were all in your early stages? Or even now, is it still even hard now to take that constructive criticism from your peers? Or is it easy? Please explain both sides.
I don't think it's ever easy.
Right.
I don't think it's ever an easy thing. You know what I mean? Like most things, you know, it's not easy, but I guess the best way to put it is, you know, who you are on the inside eventually comes out.
Right.
So if you're being critiqued in a way where your brethren is really trying to do good work with you, and you sitting in a corner pouting, or you want to beef with them, you want to fight, or you want to break up, or you want to, you know what I mean? You don't want to be in the group. Then that speaks to more about who you are, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I didn't say it was easy, but you're going to have to find some way through it. And some people rise to the occasion and then they write the best verse ever. And some people might struggle through it. You know what I mean? And some people might have to sit off the song. There's different levels of it, but there's never, in my opinion, and I think I speak for my brothers when I say, it's never an option of running away or denial, or, you know what I mean? Using aggression to excuse it. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, just taking away the excuses, it helps you do it, you know, because what you know, being brave ain't the absence of fear, right? It's being able to do it anyway.
Right.
Bush babies in your area, ladies and gentlemen. I had to pause because this next question is going to be probably very hard, and it's been hard for a lot of people every time I ask about it. But the loss of Fife still hits me right here. I feel that in this day and age, you know, lots of my heroes didn't even make it to 50. And Fife was one of those guys that the minute he started speaking, your attention was already on what he was doing, whether you were in your home or watching him live at the show. How important was Fife? Let me not say how important. How big of an influence was Fife to you guys? And when you found out about his passing, I'm sure it really hit you here, and it probably still does. But what is one thing that you can take away from being around Fife that still resonates with you today in 2025?
I'd say right off the bat, as we talked about KRS-One and The Bridge Is Over, we also have to add Fife's element and Tribe, because he did bring that dance hall feel to Tribe. And it's one of the things that helped us to move forward and understand what that space is supposed to look like and build on it. I remember having conversations with Fife. He's a good dude. He brought a lot of circles together. I think what really resonates when I think about Fife and what that man went through takes me to the last Grammys. And I forget what the young woman's name was, but she was talking about record execs and having healthcare in the music industry. And when I think about the Grammys and that just being mentioned, 30 years and that has not changed. In honor of Fife, I would say that's something that we need to be talking more about, about having that space added to what we do as musicians for folks to be able to take care of themselves, especially after, their heyday, to be able to still be able to rely on something, you think about how many other industries have that. you know, in their ordinary, you know, just what they do. We should have the same thing.
You're talking about Chapel Roan. That's the lady who gave the speech.
There you go.
Yep.
Chapel Roan.
Yeah.
I think she spoke to Fife's situation.
Yeah.
And how many times had that been mentioned in that room?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Hardly ever.
Absolutely, man. Like, what about you? What is something that you still hold? What is something that resonates you with about Fife, whether it's personally or professionally?
Yeah, it's tough, man. I don't do so good with speaking about people that I lost too much, but I think what Fife represents and the type of dude he was, like just being a welcoming person, you know, making you feel like you belong in the room with him.
Yeah.
Man, a lot of artists just don't have that, you know, and I hope that I have that. I hope that I've done that. You know, I'm sure there's times that I might have rubbed somebody the wrong way, but I hope that I have I leave the kind of memories that it seems Fife left with everybody.
Right. Absolutely.
Right.
And then so, man, because you know, like I said, I don't do good too good talking about it, man. But you know, I wanted, I'm sure everyone did. We all wanted more time, not just length of time, but even as I look back, you know, maybe we could have reached out more to link up as young artists, to take guidance, to get mentorship. You know, maybe we could have, this is a Trini man, this is a Caribbean man. He would have, you know, he would have definitely, and a lot of times you just doing your work, I'm gonna get to Big Bro when we finish this or when we do that.
Yeah.
And in hindsight, you know, I just want to take a second and say, man, you know, young MC or old MC or hip hop lover, whatever, you know, reach out to people, man. They run across your mind, reach out, shout them out. Yo, you know, remember that joint we did? Remember this, remember that? Or let's work on this, let's work on that.
Absolutely.
A lot of times you don't realize it till the time has passed.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well,
let me just say this too. Coming from Brooklyn, as we talk about this particular topic, I gotta give a big rest in heaven to Brooklyn's finest, Clark Kent. Definitely a very pivotal person. Yeah. That's the Forrest Gump of hip hop, man. That's who Clark is. He's the Forrest Gump of hip hop. He has been instrumental in so many situations in hip hop that anyone who you interview should be able, that's been in it for a while, should be able to tell you a Clark story. Put it to you that way.
And I was about to segue into Clark, but you guys beat me to it. Go ahead. Go ahead, Light.
I was just gonna say I saw something with Alchemist the other day, talking about how gatekeeping is whack and just giving Premier his flowers, DJ Premier his flowers. How and it made me think of Clark when I heard that, because you know, Clark, like Lee said, he would move in different spaces, he would have all these links and connections, and he would work at this and DJ for that and do that. But you never got the feeling that like he was trying to put you on the hook with dealing with him.
Yeah.
I mean, he was just a dude. If we working, we working. If we not working, that's cool. Hit me up later.
Right.
And as a big bro, just seeing that as a younger person, that's dope. And that's how I think a part of how we move today.
You would hope that when everything's said and done, that people have the words for you that they have for Clark.
Right. Amen.
If you live up to that, God bless you, because that man, he's so instrumental in hip hop that you just, you know what I mean? I can't even. I seldom get lost for words. I've definitely lost for words.
Truly understandable, man. That guy right there. What a presence. What a power. I got my friend, my brother Jamal, aka Polo Sport. He said just now that he would love to hear the Bush Babies over a Havoc beat more than he would like to hear y'all over a Q-Tip and Primo beat. To him, that would be fire. I agree. I totally agree.
That would be fire. Absolutely.
You know, that happen one day too. We're gonna make that happen one day. I think I think Havoc is still doing his thing. He's still nice with it. Yeah, we can make that happen.
So that brings me to my actual next question. With the new music coming out, who are you working with? That we should. Is there anything you can tell us about who you're working with? And even more legendary, more bolder question. Who are some people that you haven't worked with yet that you always wanted to work with?
Absolutely. Well, for the new project, for Dollar Van, of course, we have a load of in-house producers that we work with. Big shout to them. We're happy about that. But one of the producers that we've been working with, who's been in our lives for a couple decades, has been Bink. Instagram go by Humble Monster. And when you talk about legendary status, I mean, get your Google out, type in Big Dog, and just see what comes up on the discography. And that pretty much will say it all. He is hip hop. He is boom bap. We're excited as to work with him, not just as friends, but just the respect for the type of music that he creates. So when you listen to Dollar Van, you're listening to music that will be curated by heads like that, amongst other producers that we're working with as well, that y'all are going to be excited about it. I'm going to tell you this, man. If you like hip hop and you appreciate rebel style music, hip hop, boom bap, and you also appreciate dancehall music and you like reggae and you like that, we got something for you when it comes to Dollar Van music, man. We got something for you that y'all gonna be happy with. As a matter of fact, I don't even want to name the dates, but in a couple days, what I'm excited about is we're gonna be releasing our website, dollarvanmusic.com, and when we release that, man, we got 3 records already on go that you'll be able to download for free. We figured we've been gone for 30 years. Let me give you something as we enter this. So you're going to see at least 3 records on dollarvanmusic.com that you're going to be able to go in there and listen to these songs for free, download them, add them to your playlist, and just take them in. We also have visuals for that music as well. We got merch coming. If you enjoy the Bush Baby logo, one of the iconic logos in hip hop with the baby on the vine, we got merch coming out with that as well. We got Dollar Van merch. Just got a lot of stuff that's going to be going on in 2025 very, very soon that we're going to be releasing to the public off of Dollar Van Music. And we're super excited about just coming back out, freestyles and everything else. I can't wait to flex, to take your shirt off. I can't wait to take my shirt off and flex on y'all. Straight up and down. Take my shirt off and flex on y'all and show you that the muscle memory is there.
Listen, I can't wait to hear it myself. Man.
Yeah,
all right.
I think we are excited, man. And I think the thing for us, like Lee just said, is having our platform set, also taking the time, we had to kind of wait out Warner Brothers and the contracts and things like that. So just give thanks that God spare life and we here in the physical and we still able to function at a high level and feeling good and full of energy. So that's the real first blessing. But as far as like what we're about to do,
man,
I'm gonna let the work speak. But it's gonna be real consistent. Let's just put it like that. So, whenever the van pull up, get ready to jump in. If it's too packed, there'll be another one.
Utica.
There'll be another one pulling up shortly. Just while we.
So what they're trying to tell y'all is, and I need you youngins to understand what they're trying to say. It's 2025, but MCs still will get waxed. Just be prepared. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
My friend Jamal wants to know what's the best Jamaican spot in Brooklyn to eat at.
That's easy.
Go ahead,
Flatbush, go to Peppers. If you like jerk chicken, tell your friend Jamal that if he wants to get himself some jerk chicken at some festival, just line up outside of Peppers.
And let me tell you,
every time we go there, that's where we go, Peppers.
And the line long. So if you walk up and it's not a long line,
get in that line.
Get in the fucking line. You know what I'm saying? Right away. Because by the time you blink, that line gonna be down the block. And, and tell your brethren, my name is Jamal too. So salute. So
amen. Yeah. Well, he's tuned in right now. Amen. Very last question. I'm gonna let you guys go. Thank you for taking the time to be with us. My wife called my name, yelled for me, so I gotta see what she's about to do because I'm not getting put in the doghouse. So
well understood.
This will be the last question I ask. Earlier I said longevity is something that every hip hop artist or group or entourage or label, whatever, strives for. You guys have impacted the world for 31 plus years. And I know there's something you guys still have not accomplished or achieved yet because you're still going strong. What else is there for the Bush Babies to accomplish that you haven't accomplished? Because the hunger is there from the way Light was just talking about the new music coming out. It seems like you have a renewed energy to really just hit people over the head. But what else is there for you all to accomplish that you haven't yet accomplished? What's a goal that you guys still want to see achieved before you call this a career and continue just being the great men that you have been?
I'm gonna go first, Lee, so you can wrap it up and put a bow on it. I think, and I don't want to go too deep or anything, but I think the honest answer for me is personal fulfillment. So feeling, when you step away from something and then you see, the activity out in the public, it's fine because there's all this good music too to pick through. But not being active and being as consistent as we wanted to be, there's times when it pokes you in the side, like, yo, what you doing, man? Come on, let's get it. Like you see what's going on out here. Or when you run into people and they're like, yo, I would love to hear you do something for me or get on a verse. So you're never gonna escape it. Not that you want to escape it anyway. And right. So what you realize is, despite label, despite platform, despite money, despite all of those things, are you happy? Are you feeling good? You know what I mean? So I know me, and I think I can speak for Lee too. A lot of my artist brethren, man, we feel the best when we writing or when we in the studio. Look, I love my family, I love my kids, I love all that. But I am at my best when I'm in the studio and I don't have no time limit, and we working and we building and we creating and we messing with flows and putting words in there and and structuring beats and formatting and all of that. So it's really about personal fulfillment. And I think if you as the first listener make yourself proud and happy and your crew co-signs it and your platform is set up correctly and all the business is in order, and that's where we at now. So now it's time to get active.
All right.
I'm gonna jump on exactly where Light left off. Having your business together. Spent a lot of years with a lot of people eating off of what we were doing and not eating off of it as much. And today is still the same thing when you think about how much people get paid for streams and all of this stuff, and doing all of this work but putting it on somebody else's platform, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, you name it, where they make the lion's share. I think what I'm looking forward to accomplishing is moving people to our own space, our website, dollarvanmusic.com, moving people to our space and bartering with folks from our own space and from our own perspective, the way we want to market and brand what we're doing, instead of having to bring other people into it. Yeah, you're going to find some of our marketing on Instagram, YouTube, and all of those other platforms. But the main goal is to get people to our space where you can be invited into our house, take your shoes off, and enjoy our space, which is dollarvanmusic.com. That's what I'm excited about.
So, and that deserves a round of applause right there, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely. So Dollar Van, is that DOLLA, like dollar spelled out, Van Music? Like
no R, DOLLA VAN. and
Okay,
music.
Music.
Classy.
Right,
Yep.
cool.
Right.
So I'm just putting that in there for my YouTube listeners right now. I just put that site in there. Save that website, bookmark it, and get ready to see realness return in the form of these three amazing gentlemen right here. So in closing,
Absolutely.
I want to thank y'all for coming out. Like I said, I got to go see what the wife wants, and so good. I don't get waxed by her.
Yo, thank you for having us, man. I just wanted to say to you, thank you for having us. We appreciate your platform. We appreciate you being a hip hop nerd, as you say on your show. We appreciate that. And as of right now, you need to look at us. You want to follow Bush Babies. What we're doing as far as Bush Babies and Dollar Van Music, go to Bush_Babies on Instagram so you can get updates on what we're doing with Dollar Van Music and how we're moving forward with this new website that's coming out and all the other information and content to just keep up with us from what we're doing. Bush_Babies. On Instagram, you'll be able to see us and what we're doing.
Okay. Last question. Where y'all performing next? Where can people see you live?
Oh boy. You're gonna see a lot of content of some of the stuff that we've already done performing on our website and coming up as far as on our Instagram, but we're right now trying to organize some shows overseas with our booking agents. So we're really happy about that. Colombia, Chile, all of those, Brazil, all of those places. We're looking to come out there and make some things happen and spread what we're about.
Amen.
Yeah, I think that's look for it more in the summer. I think right now we're focused on launch, merch, and content, but I think once we launch the site, we're gonna open up for bookings and start talking calendar and all that. But salute to your queen, man. I don't want to hold you up because I know that dinner getting cold. Might you get in trouble.
One last thing I'm going to say, then I'm really going to go after this. Jamal said he would love to hear you guys rock over a Havoc beat. I would love to see you guys do a record with Little Brother. I love Fonte and rapper Big Pooh. I think the five of y'all would come up with something.
That's dope.
Marvelous.
Yeah. So, definitely fans. Absolutely. Link it up. Make it happen.
All
when
right,
you get
man,
on the show, link us up.
All right, man. Let me take my black ass out of here. But ladies and gentlemen, this is Lee Majors. This is Big Light. Mr. Mann as well. These are the Bush Babies. Round of applause for these kings right here. Absolutely. Man. Listen, next Tuesday, everyone, stay tuned. We'll be back here next week. I got the legendary Ahmad as my studio guest.
Hey. Back in the days when I was young and not a kid anymore. That's an old label mate, actually. Peace to Ahmad. Shout him out.
We did some early tours together and stuff. Yeah, shout him out.
Absolutely. These are the Bush Babies. Support them. DollarVanMusic.com is the website you need to be looking for. And if you haven't gotten the albums already, go get Ambush. Go get Gravity. Support these brothers' work because you're going to hear some legendary shit right there. For real. All right, man. Let me get up out of here before I get
peace and love.
Thank you, guys. I'm going to talk to you real soon.
All right.
Blessings.
Bless.
All right.
Yes.
Yes, sir. All right.